Just give me a reason, just a little bit's enough. Just a second, we're not broken, just bends, and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's been written in the scars on our hearts that we're not broken, just bends, and we can learn to love again. Just give me a reason, just a little bit's enough. Just a second, we're not broken, just bends, and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's been written in the scars on our hearts that we're not broken, just bends, and we can learn to love again. Oh, we can learn to love again. Oh, we can learn to love again. Oh, that we're not broken, just bends, and we can learn to love again.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed. So show me family, all the blood that I will bleed. I don't know where I belong. I don't know where I went wrong, but I can write a song. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I don't think you're right for him. Think of what it might have been if you took a bus to Chinatown. I'd be standing on Canal and Bowery. She'd be standing next to me. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Love, we need it now. Let's focus on somewhere bleeding now. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart.
I think it's so cute, and I think it's so sweet how you let your friends encourage you to try and talk to me. But let me stop you there, oh, before you speak. Nah to the I to the no, no, no. My name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go, you need to let it go, need to let it go. Nah to the I to the no, no, no. My name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go, you need to let it go, need to let it go. Nah to the I to the no, no, no. First you gonna say you ain't running game, thinking I believe in every word. Call me beautiful, so original, telling me I'm not like other girls. I was in my zone before you came along. Now lips and swing your hips, girl. All you gotta say is my name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. Need to let it go. Now to the I to the no, no, no. My name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. Need to let it go. Now to the I to the no, no, no. Thank you in advance. I don't wanna dance. Nope. I don't need your hands all over me. No, no. If I want a man, then I'ma get a man. But it's never my priority. Hey. I was in my zone before you came along. Don't want you to take this personal. Blah, blah, blah. I be like, nah, to the I, to the no, no, no. All my ladies, listen up. If that boy ain't giving up, lick your lips and swing your hips. Girl, all you gotta say is my name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. Need to let it go. Nah, to the I, to the no, no, no. My name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. Need to let it go. Nah, to the I, to the no, no, no. I'm feeling untouchable, untouchable. I'm feeling untouchable, untouchable. I'm feeling untouchable, untouchable. I'm feeling hey, hey, hey. Feeling untouchable, untouchable. I'm feeling untouchable, untouchable. I'm feeling untouchable, untouchable. I'm feeling down to the I, no, no, no. Hey. All my ladies, listen up. If that boy ain't giving up, lick your lips and swing your hips, girl. All you gotta say is my name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. Need to let it go. Now to the I, to the no, no, no. My name is no, my sign is no, my number is no. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. Need to let it go. Now to the I, to the no, no, no. Untouchable, untouchable. Untouchable, untouchable. Untouchable, untouchable. Now to the I, to the no, 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 no.
I found a love for me. Well, darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. Just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Oh, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Between my arms, barefoot on the grass, we're listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. Kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Well, darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future
too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the player's gonna play, 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 play. And the haters gonna hate, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreaker's gonna break, 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 break. And the faker's gonna fake, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. I never miss a beat. I'm lightning on my feet. And that's what they don't see. That's what they don't see. I'm dancing on my own. I'll make the moves up as I go. And that's what they don't know. That's what they don't know. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop grooving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the player's gonna play, 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 play. And the haters gonna hate, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreaker's gonna break, 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 break. And the faker's gonna fake, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off.
Hey, hey, hey! Just think, while you've been getting down and out about the liars and the dirty, dirty cheats of the world, you could have been getting down to this sick beat.
My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my god, but I'm just gonna shake into the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We can shake, shake, shake. Yeah, 'cause the player's gonna play, 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 play. And the haters gonna hate, 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 hate. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Heartbreaker's gonna break, 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 break. And the faker's gonna fake, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off. You got to shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, shake it off. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say were wrecking balls inside my brain. I will scream loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep. I say I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home. But there's a fire burning in my bones. Still believe
like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned up. Starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll blow my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. No, I've still got a lot of fire left in me.
I wanna follow where she goes. I think about her and she knows it. I wanna let it take control. 'Cause every time that she gets close, yeah, she pulls me in enough to keep me guessing. And maybe I should stop and start confessing. Confessing, yeah. Oh, I've been shaking. I love it when you go crazy. You take all my inhibitions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. You take me places that tear up my reputation, manipulate my decisions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. She says that she's never afraid. Just picture everybody naked. She really doesn't like to wait. Not really into hesitation. Pulls me in enough to keep me guessing. Oh, and maybe I should stop and start confessing. Confessing, yeah. Oh, I've been shaking. I love it when you go crazy. You take all my inhibitions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. You take me places that tear up my reputation, manipulate my decisions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. Lost our minds and we took it way too far. I know we'd be alright. I know we would be alright if you were by my side. And we stumbled in the dark. I know we'd be alright. I know we would be alright. 'Cause if we lost our minds and we took it way too far, I know we'd be alright. I know we would be alright if you were by my side. We stumbled in the dark. I know we'd be alright. Shaking, I love it when you go crazy. You take all my inhibitions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. You take me places that tear up my reputation, manipulate my decisions. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. I feel so free when you're with me, baby. Baby, there's nothing holding me back.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget.
diggity dog. I have them like Miley Cyrus, clothes off, twerking in their bras and thongs. Timber. Face down, booty up. Timber. That's the way we like the wood. Timber. I'm sicker than an oil spill. She say she won't, but I bet she will. Timber. Swing your partner round and round, and then the night is going down. One more shot, another round, and then the night is going down. Swing your partner round and round, and then the night is going down. One more shot, another round, and then the night is going
It's
down.
going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget. It's going down. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Nah, it's just me and the damn thing changed. Live in hotels, swing on planes. Blessed to say, money ain't a thing. Club jumping like LeBron now. Bowl it, order me another round. Homie, we about to clown. Why? Cause it's about to go down. Swing your partner round and round, and then the night is going down. One more shot, another round, and then the night is going down. Swing your partner round and round, and then the night is going down. One more shot, another round, and then the night is going
It's
down.
going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget.
I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, and Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fist. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. I want something just like this. I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, the testaments they told, the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lived. But I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can miss. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. Where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss, just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. When the days are cold and the cards all fold and the saints we see are all made of gold, when your dreams all fail and the ones we hail are the worst of all and the bloods run stale, I wanna hide the truth, I wanna shelter you, but with the beast inside, there's nowhere we can hide. No matter what we breed, we still are made of greed. This is my kingdom.
I don't mind letting you down easy, but just give it time. If it don't hurt now, but just wait a while. Another big fish in the pond, no more. You were what they're feeding on. So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around you? So what are you gonna do when the world don't orbit around?
Hey! What's up?
We hope you're enjoying Duke so far.
We're the cast of True Blue, and we'd like to share a few things about ourselves.
We all come from different places.
I'm from Texas.
I just got back from London.
We've had different life experiences.
I studied French in France this summer.
I wrote and produced a short film.
We all have different majors.
I'm pre-med.
I was pre-med.
I'm poli-sci.
I was poli-sci. Some of us come here to study something completely different.
Some of us love body piercings and tattoos. Want to see mine?
Yeah!
Some of us have seen every episode.
Run that back.
Some of us have seen every episode of Rick and Morty. Stranger Things. Insecure.
I love Insecure.
I Instagram.
I Snapchat.
You Snapchat.
Not like that.
We all have different hobbies. I lift heavy stuff.
Do you even lift, bro?
Yo.
I game.
And I like to dance.
Some of us wear outrageous underwear.
And some of us aren't wearing any underwear.
Word? Not ill.
Some of us have our own cars here at Duke.
Some of us can't afford a car.
Need a ride?
Sure. Some of us are straight.
Some of us are gay.
Some of us are queer.
Some of us are asexual.
Some of us are just sexual. And some of us are just waiting for the right person.
We all have different studying styles.
I procrastinate.
I finish papers way before they're due.
Is that true?
Not at all.
We all wish we could get more sleep. I tented in Kayville for a week and got the worst cold of my life.
You got a cold? I got the flu in quarantine.
Oh yeah? I once tented for 2 nights and I was fine.
Yeah, right.
Some of us drink alcohol occasionally.
Some don't drink at all.
I learned that keeping up wasn't the best idea. I woke up in the hospital.
Some of us have struggled with an eating disorder. Some of us have struggled with an eating disorder. Some of us have experienced violence against us in our lives.
Many of us are guided through life by a particular faith.
Some of us are more spiritual than religious.
All of us were once sitting where you are.
Yawning.
Rolling our eyes.
Texting.
But then I learned stuff that I didn't realize I need to know.
Isn't it amazing to be a Duke student?
But sometimes it can be really hard. People think that studying and making good grades is the hardest part of college, but then life happens, and it gets even harder.
But there are ways to get through it. And lucky for us, we have Dean Sue and Dr. Blacks here to give us some pointers.
Welcome again, class of 2022. I want to promise you this is the last time you will see me talking and babbling to you. I'm joined this afternoon by Dr. John Blackshear. Again, you didn't get any applause this morning because that's Trinity right there.
You know it, Trinity, where you at?
So again, Sue Waslick, I work in student affairs. I'm the Dean of Students.
I'm John Blackshear, and I'm Academic Dean in Arts and Sciences.
I live in Gilbert Adams as the faculty in residence.
And I'm the faculty in residence in Trinity Megadorn.
I have a small apartment.
I have a large apartment with a patio.
I drive a Prius.
I drive a motorcycle.
I'm divorced.
I'm married again.
No children.
And I have 6 children.
I love living and working with Duke students.
And I love living and working with Duke students. Welcome 2022.
Thank you all.
Give yourself applause.
So we're going to spend just a little bit of time this afternoon sharing what we think is some really significant and important research that's been done at Duke over the last 5 years. Duke, along with 3 other colleges and universities here in North Carolina and South Carolina, have conducted research on resilience of college students. Why is it that some college students just seem to do better than others? Is it related to their preparation in high school? Do their SAT scores predict what's going to happen? And what we found was there's this thing called resiliency. And those students who are more resilient, who are able to achieve more resiliency, tend to just have better college experiences. So we're going to share with you over the next few minutes the results of that research. Our hope is that you can use this, you can resonate with it, you can figure out how to apply it to your next 4 or 5 years that you're here, because we want you to be resilient, we want you to be successful and have a meaningful and fun time while you're here. So let's get started. But before we get started, we want to just ask a question. What do human beings really want? And what the research shows is, other than food and water and a roof over our heads, it's really important that we feel this sense of belonging wherever we are. You've already heard about that during the last couple of days, and you'll continue to hear about it. You're now part of a community. We want all of you to belong. And you know, we really want to be loved. I don't know if we really all want to have our faces licked by strange dogs, but this is certainly one way that love can be displayed. And as we think about belonging and love, again, resilience is connected to that. What do you want your Duke experience to be? We want it to be one that, as I said before, is meaningful and fun, and we hope that these few short words about resiliency will help you figure out what you're going to do. So this 5-year research project showed that there are 4 elements of resilience. We're going to go through these 4 very quickly. You'll hear a little bit more about them throughout the rest of True Blue this afternoon, but Dr. Blackshear and I are going to review these just very briefly. Self-compassion is all yours.
All right. So the first one is self-compassion. Oh, you will.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. All right.
I forgot.
Reacting with
I got
kindness.
the power.
There you do, yes. Being compassionate with oneself, the same way you would with anyone else that you encountered who might be going through something. And when you stumble, and you will, being compassionate to yourself will allow you to be able to look into the mirror and say, I'm pretty enough. I do that every morning. When I look in the mirror, before I brush my teeth, when I wake up like this, I look in the mirror and I say, I'm pretty enough. When you're sitting in your classrooms, I am smart enough. And when you're walking through these 4 years on this campus, I am Duke Blue enough. And that sense of self-compassion will allow you to take lessons from your stumbles and apply them on your way to your triumphs.
The second one is self-regulation, self-control, self-management. It says here on the screen, it means getting things done, and certainly it does. It means being able to sort of approach something from start to finish and see the end in sight and make your way to the end. Obviously, people who can do that are going to be more successful, but it's a little bit more than that. It's actually knowing what choices to make and when to make them. It's not all about just time management and how do you manage your day and your hours on a day-to-day basis, but it's making those decisions that make the most sense at that particular time. So you've got a paper due, you've got a test to study for. Those folks that are able to control the decision to actually study and finish the paper are obviously going to be more resilient and more successful in their work. You've got a choice of going to a party, you've got a choice of finishing your work. Obviously, there's always going to be time for social life and for partying. We want you to enjoy yourself while you're here. But those students who are able to make that decision to go ahead and finish the project first and then go on to enjoy their social activities are the ones that show a higher level of resilience and actually have a more successful college experience.
The next one is engagement.
And everybody, don't you agree, Dr. Blackshear, needs to get engaged.
I'm sure Kiki loves you, but not that type of engagement. We're talking about developing a gusto for your school and your work. That means connecting with faculty members and connecting with other researchers, connecting with staff members, connecting with other adults on campus who've been here and who are here to help you along your way. There will be times where you might question what you thought you were interested in when you came here. You will discover perhaps something new and something that sparks a passion for you. And we would like for you to always think about ways that you can engage others here so that you can get the most out of this experience. And I will always tell students that faculty love to talk about themselves. Don't shy away from them. Ask them what they do. Ask them how they got there. And just doing those little things will spark engagement, and you'll be remembered, and you'll be encountered again and again in ways that you can build relationships with the academic community and other adults here on campus so that you can find your Duke home.
I'm curious to know, did you find yourself engaged with faculty and with your academic work when you were an undergrad?
Yeah, so when I first got to college, I wanted to be a musician. I had no intentions of going to college. I wanted to play drums for Prince. Prince?
Shout out for Prince.
Shout out to Prince.
There we go.
Oh, I like that, yeah. All right, so, but instead, I took an abnormal psychology class and met this incredible professor who became not only one of my dearest teachers, but still a friend to me to this day. How about you?
Well, I certainly engaged with faculty. I did my very best. I was pre-med when I was here at Duke. Just didn't work out. You know how that happens? It just didn't work out. And thank goodness it didn't.
Absolutely.
Because I was able to find my life's passion. But I really think that this is one of the most important parts of resiliency is really finding the work that you love to do while you're here.
And remember, majors do not predict careers. You can major in whatever it is you find interesting and passionate enough to study, and you can go on. I didn't major in anything that said I'd become an academic dean. So keep that in mind. Neither one of us majored in anything that predicated our careers, but we majored in things that got our juices flowing, that got us to develop a gusto for our school and our work.
So hopefully you will find that as well. And then finally, relationships, especially peer relationships. I know that many of you expect and hope to make lots of friends while you're here. We hope that for you as well. It may take a little time to do that. Sometimes orientation week is a great place to start. But working on these peer relationships and really finding meaning with the people with whom you're interacting is part of building your resiliency and, again, putting yourself in a position to be as successful as you possibly can while you're in college. The research also showed, though, that the students who were able to view their relationships in the most healthy way were the ones that were the most resilient. So, you know, you're looking at your roommate, you're looking at folks on your hall right now, you'll meet many students in clubs and organizations and in your classes, and maybe you make a friend, you develop this wonderful peer relationship, and then suddenly you have a bit of an argument or a conflict. Those students who are able to look at that conflict and say, whatever, you know, we disagreed on something, but we're still good. Those are the ones that are able to be the most resilient and, again, make the most out of their college experience. Folks who walk away from difficulties in relationships obviously aren't as resilient. So think about how you're going to approach your relationships, particularly with your peers, over the next days and weeks and months and years. It will definitely make a difference.
Absolutely.
So our message to you is,
you got this.
You've got it.
Yeah.
You've all got this. And we're here to help in any way that we can. We're going to learn a bit more about resiliency and some other, what we think, important messages for you to have over the next days and months again. Welcome to Duke.
Welcome to Duke.
Good luck
Glad
to
y'all
all
are
of
here.
you. Thank you.
All right. I'll take care.
I finally wanna be alive. I finally wanna be alive. I don't wanna die today. I don't wanna die. I finally wanna be alive.
Hey, you good?
Dean Sue and Dr. Blackshear talked about a lot, and I could say I'm pretty confused about a couple of things.
Well, which part?
Self-compassion mostly.
Oh, I can help you with that, Angela. So it's really important to not be too hard on yourself and to practice self-compassion, especially here at Duke. And something that really helps me is to remember the fact that comparison is the thief of joy.
Now, I know we're all Duke students, but I can't be the only one that's confused with this.
You're right. I'm having a really hard time managing my self-control. Yeah, well, when I first came to Duke, I was overwhelmed with all the opportunities available to me, and I lost a lot of sleep trying to make everything fit. Just because you can do everything doesn't mean you should. So when you're scheduling time for classes, friends, different clubs, make sure to always schedule time for yourself first.
I don't really put all too much emphasis on my relationships on campus either.
Well, I don't know where I'd be without my relationships. I still call my friends when I get lost on this big campus, and I'm a junior, so don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, Ua, and relationships can take a bunch of different forms. For example, Big Mike, the bus driver, he has saved the day for me on multiple different occasions. Give it up for Big Mike. And you should never feel like you're alone on this campus because there's always someone out there for you.
With so many opportunities at Duke, how do you take advantage of the academics?
So when I first got to Duke, I was desperate to start working in the lab. But it didn't turn out to be a great experience because I didn't really have the time to do good work. This past summer, I participated in a research program at Duke, and I was able to contribute to some really good science. So while you should definitely take advantage of these great opportunities, you don't need to rush into them as soon as you get here.
I think this all shows how important it is to appreciate yourself and to appreciate others. And it may take some time to incorporate all 4 elements, and there may be some speed bumps along the way, including involving alcohol or maybe decisions involving sex. Luckily, we have David from Duell and Sheila from the Women's Center to help us.
Everybody to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. The track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Back a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens, lean, mean, money making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon. Now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like a Rob
All right. Class of 2022, how you doing? Let's try it again. Class of 2022, how you doing? There you are. So whether you are joining us from here in Reynolds or whether you are across the way over in Griffith, welcome to Duke. My name is David. I am from Duell. I'm an assistant director, and every year we're asked to come in and talk with first year students just to try to give a little bit of advice about how you can stay completely safe, completely successful during your time here. And one thing that we know is that there is no surefire way or silver bullet that we can give you that will keep you completely safe or to ensure that you're going to be successful. So what we do instead is to offer suggestions. We give you some strategies that we've seen other students use in the past, and it's worked very well for them. So the idea is if you take a few of these ideas and you employ them over your time here, it's going to increase the odds of you being safe and successful, all right? So what are the underpinnings of these messages? Well, they have absolutely nothing to do with knowledge or book smarts, okay? And they have everything to do with awareness. Awareness of yourself, awareness of others, awareness of your environment, and an awareness of how all 3 of those elements intersect. All right, so let's explore this a little bit. So you've heard so far about messages about maintaining your balance, your well-being. And just to pause, can we give a little bit of love to the True Blue cast? Because they are crushing it right now. Killing it. So there's a lot of things that you're going to want to try to do in this first week, in this first month, in this first semester. There's a lot of things and directions are going to get torn. So we're going to explore this just a little bit. I'm going to use all of you to help me. So if you have a phone, please pull that phone out. And I'd like you to start up the Flashlight app. If you don't know how to do that, then turn to a buddy, ask for some help. Oh, man. Love this part of it. There we go. Yeah. Love it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a series of statements. If there are any that I read that you feel resonate with you, if you agree with them, then I invite you to raise that flashlight nice and high. All right? If there's anything that you do not agree with, okay, that you do not resonate, then feel free to keep them down. Okay? Pretty straightforward? All right, we'll start off with an easy one. Raise that flashlight up if you feel that I am a good dancer. So that either means 2 things. Either you generally love me, or you just don't understand the instructions. All right, I'm going to go with the fact that you love me. that you understand what's going on, all right? Oh, thanks. That was awkward, but okay. All right, so next one, raise your flashlight nice and high if you are a proud member of the class of 2022. Yeah. All right. All right. Raise that light if you are planning on becoming a Cameron crazy. All right. Raise your light if you are planning on attending a bonfire or two. All right. Sounds good. Raise that light if you're planning on joining a club or an organization. Nice. Raise that light if you're planning on studying abroad at some point. Great. Travel that world. Raise the light if you are planning on exercising regularly. Yeah. Raise that light if you are planning on going to class. Raise the light if you're planning on skipping a class. Just a quick pause. Do we still have the live feed going across campus to faculty? Cool. All right. Raise that light if you're planning on going to a party. That's fair. And raise that light if you're planning on having an alcoholic beverage at that party. You will note that not everybody had their light up. I thought everybody drank in college. So apparently that's not the case. Raise that light if you're planning on making the dean's list. All right. And then last one, raise your light if you are looking forward to making some potentially lifelong friends. Nice. Great. Thank you very much. So, the question that I have for all of you is there's a lot of things that you want to try to do. How do you possibly do all of that while at the same time maintaining your well-being? How do you maintain that balance? And if I were to ask you, are you well? What are you using to define that? Are you saying, well, I'm not sick, therefore I must be well? Okay. There are many dimensions of your wellness. How would you know if you're unwell? There's intellectual wellness, emotional, social, spiritual, environmental, financial. All of those dimensions that make you, you, those all comprise what your wellness is all about. So making sure that you're aware of those areas that you're really strong in, but also giving yourself the compassion and the time to be able to prioritize yourself, to take care of your wellness, is very, very important. All right? With all of these things that you try to get done in such little time, you probably heard the saying here at Duke, we work hard, play hard. Okay? We try to spin that a little bit and say, work smart, play smart. When you are trying to get everything in, what's the first thing that you're going to sacrifice? Sleep. And sleep is going to be critical to everything that you're going to try to get done here. When you're not sleeping, your immune system gets sacrificed. When your immune system goes down, you get sick. When you get sick, you miss class. When you miss class, you get stressed. And then depending on the mechanisms that you have in place to deal with that stress, that is going to define how successful you are during your time here. Right? So using all of these resources, being aware of when you're not doing as best as you can, taking advantage of everything around you, that's going to be the key. The students that take advantage of those resources, that listen to themselves, are the ones that tend to go far. All right? The other part about sleep is that's the time when your brain is taking all of the short-term memories and converting them to long-term memories. So if you're spending all this time studying and you're trying to retain all this information, but then you're not sleeping, and you're undoing what you just did, you're not working smart. All right? So make sure that you're making decisions that's going to maximize all of your time. Okay? Sound fair? All right. Second point, we just saw a little bit ago that not everybody is going to have the same decision when it comes to going out. Some people might drink. Some people are going to drink, or are they not going to drink? Okay? If you choose not to drink, you're not alone. Typically what we find is about 20 to 23% annually students do not drink. And we applaud you. Okay? You're keeping your risk level as low as possible. Okay? Don't change that just because you think somebody else is expecting you to drink. If you are going to choose to drink, also know that the vast majority of students on campus do so in a low-risk manner. They're using all sorts of strategies, like they're drinking water before going out and during. They're eating dinner or they're eating a snack before going out and during. They're pacing all of their drinks out. They're maybe starting with a limit. They're having a plan for the night. They're traveling with groups. All of these things are effective ways for making sure that the night ends successfully. There are people who will tend to push the envelope. They'll overconsume. But those are the individuals that are in the minority. If you want to follow the norm of what we're seeing on campus, it's either not drinking or drinking in a low-risk manner. All right? Now, the tripwire that we find is sometimes people have good intentions. They're trying to track their drinks, but they don't know how much they're drinking. Okay? So to try to illustrate, where is Michael? Is Michael in here? Michael, if you're in here, raise your hand. Where's Michael? What? Michael's not in here? 500 students in the, oh, Michael, there you are. Come on down, Michael. 500 students, I'm always guaranteed to have one Michael in the house. Come on down, buddy. Watch your step. How you doing? I'm David.
Good. How are you?
Good. So come on over here. Do me a favor. Go ahead and just stand right over there. So, Michael. Nervous? You okay? We're friends. Safe environment. So, Michael, word on the street is that you like to party. Well, and it's not just word on the street. We actually pulled your alcohol EDU data that we're actually going to put up on the screen. So let's, no, we're not going to do that. But seriously, so this is not real alcohol, okay? It's actually a pretty tasty beverage that I mixed myself. It's 2 parts H, 1 part O. All right, let's keep it honest. You all are Duke students. You know that was funny. Let's just keep it 100%, okay? All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is just put, and this is just to help it be a little bit easier to see from the stands. So, Michael, what we're going to do, okay, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take the container and I'd like you to pour the amount of liquid into the solo cup that you feel Duke students pour to represent the amount of alcohol when they're making a mixed drink. Okay, so if they're making a mixed drink, how much alcohol do you think will be poured into the solo cup? What do I think? What do you think? All right. Do you agree with this or disagree with this? It's lower, right? That's a pretty legit pour. That's pretty good. What do you think that he should be adding? Here's my card. I'm located on. All right. Want to try pouring a little more of what you think the average Duke student is doing? Just to appease? Sure.
Wait, what am I trying to do?
Well, apparently some people think that people pour a little bit more into their drink. So,
What do we think?
feel good about that? That's good? Okay. All right, so the tricky part about this is if people go out with good intentions to count their drink and they're thinking whether the pregame or they're actually at the party and they have one solo cup and they're like, this is my drink, this is my one. If there's more than one standard drink in here, those start to add up. So Michael, what I'd like you to do, there we go, is let's see how many standard drinks are actually part of that. So I'm going to fill those up. So careful he is. I appreciate you just not drinking that last. Okay. There you go. So, that one drink, which might be thought of maybe one drink, possibly two, actually is 3, almost 4 drinks. And those extra drinks start to slide under the radar over the course of the night. What happens if somebody has a second solo cup? Or a third solo cup? Now we're talking about 4 drinks, 8 drinks, 12 drinks. That is enough to send somebody to possibly get assessed or transported. They're getting sick. It's very easy to go down that sliding scale. Michael, excellent job. Thank you very much. Let me know at the end. I'll give you one plus. Okay. All right. So the trick to this is if you are going to drink, ideally there are things you're trying to get out of the alcohol, the good part about going out and drinking. Ideally, what's a good thing about going out and drinking at a party? What are you trying to get? Have fun. You're trying to meet some friends, trying to relax, de-stress. If you start having more drinks, usually the good stuff is coming around 05, BAC-wise, 08, 09. That's that buzz area. The ideal is if you're able to hit that blood alcohol level and then ride that the entire way, the entire night, that's going to ensure that you're going to have a good night. If you drink too fast or too much, your blood alcohol level is going to go into the teens, and that's when you're going to end up getting nauseous, getting sick, browning out, blacking out, need to get assessed, need to get transported, all those types of things. All right? So if you are aware of what it is that you're drinking, you're employing these strategies, that's going to ensure that you have a successful evening. All right, make sense? All right, last piece that I'll talk about is the environment. Now, Duke students genuinely care about each other. They're always looking out for each other, whether it's a night out of drinking, whether they're just homesick, whether they're starting to withdraw, whether their roommate's having a difficult time. If somebody is struggling, the expectation is you're going to connect them with resources, look after them. If you're walking back to your residence hall and you see Michael laying on the grass, okay, don't just say, hey, Michael, see you in class on Monday. Okay. The expectation is that you see somebody that's struggling, say something. Call. Get that person the help that they need. There is an amnesty policy at Duke that says that if you make the call, you stay with the individual, you're not going to get into trouble at the university. We want your priorities in the right space. Neither you nor the individual will get into trouble. All right? Don't worry about getting the person into trouble. Make the call. The expectation is that if you're hearing about somebody who went out, they tried to keep up, they thought they were doing well, and then they tanked and they ended up waking up at the hospital, that the reaction is not laughing and clapping. The reaction is that we are empathetic. The reaction is that we support them and that we treat it as an educational moment so that they can do better next time. Okay? That's what being an active bystander is all about. That's what our expectation is of you. That's the expectation of being a citizen of Duke University. All right? Okay. Those are all of my messages. Again, hopefully you take a couple of those tidbits. Hopefully they prove to be very successful for you during your time here. I would now like to step aside and introduce my colleague from the Women's Center, the incomparable Miss Sheila Broderick.
Come on.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex for now. To the people at home or in the crowd, it keeps coming up anyhow. Don't be coy, avoid, or make void the topic, cause that ain't gonna stop it. Now please talk about sex on the radio and video shows. Many will know anything goes. Let's tell it like it is and how it could be. How it was and of course how it should be. Those who think it's dirty have a choice. Pick up the needle, press pause, or turn the radio off. Will that stop us, Pep?
Oh.
All right then.
Thank you, Angelo. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yes, there you all are. Such beautiful people. So, we're going to have a little sex chat. Is that okay? We good with that? Yeah? We're good? Okay. So, a couple of things I want to say is I'm inherently a very shy person, and this is excruciating for me to do every year, so I cope with my neurotic impulses by being funny, so you all are welcome to laugh at my jokes. Please don't interpret my being funny as like not taking this seriously or any sign of disrespect. The other thing is, just to warn you, I'm going to say words like penis and vagina. Is that okay? Can we all handle that? We're good with that? Okay, good, good. And the third thing is I want you all to know that I don't have an agenda or an opinion. I don't really care about anybody's sexual choices in this room except my own. And you all will be very glad to know we're not talking about that today. Okay, let's get started then. I have a 4-point sex talk. The latest scientific information. Feel free to jot down notes. This is very complex. Point number 1. Sexual intimacy covers a wide landscape. It's everything from holding hands to vaginal, oral, anal intercourse. Okay? Wide, lots of real estate in between there. And here's what's normal about sex. And I know you all are worried about that, like if what I'm doing is normal, am I not? Here's what's normal, I'll tell you. You can do it with a person of the same gender, someone who identifies differently, someone who is gender nonconforming, straight, gay, bi, queer, pan, and you can do it with yourself. Have I forgotten anything? Any other permutation I've forgotten? I think as memory recalls, those are all the options. I think I've covered the possibilities. So that's point number 1. Sexual intimacy covers a wide landscape. Point number 2, write this down. There are 3 primary sexual organs: mouth, ears, and eyes. Mouth for talking. I don't know what y'all thought I was going to say. Cleaned it up. And ears and eyes for listening and observing cues. And we should be using all 3 of these parts when engaging in sexual intimacy. It's our community's expectations that every one of us in this room will seek consent. Clear, unambiguous consent from a potential sexual partner. And I'm going to offer you some suggested language for having said conversation. Now, you have to remember that I'm your parents' age, so you might want to change the language a little bit, but here's how it pretty much goes. I might say to a person, I like you, and I'm totally interested in hooking up. And the other person might say, wow, Sheila, that's an intriguing thought.
But when you say you're interested in hooking up, that's a little not specific, right? What do you mean, intercourse, or were you thinking about something else? And then I might say, I'm totally serious about this. This is very important. I might say, for example, actually, I've never had vaginal or anal intercourse before. So for me now, I don't feel ready for that. But I would totally like to take off our shirts and make out and see how that feels. And the other person might say, cool, when and where? Obviously. Which leads me to point number 3 in my 4-point sex talk. It is normal and healthy to choose not to engage in sexual activity. In fact, yep, none of us are doing it right now. Most of our lives, we are not fucking, okay? We got shit to do. Or maybe we engage in some things, but we don't engage in everything. You know, like here up is okay, here down, Totally normal. But you know what's not normal or cool or acceptable? When people use their power or look for a person who's incapacitated or unable to assert themselves in order to procure a sexual crime. Not normal. It's really quite simple. In fact, a 3-year-old can understand it. So I brought my friend James today to illustrate this point. I know, right? There's my friend James. He's 4 years old now, but he was 2 in this photo. He's wearing a giraffe. Can everybody tell he's wearing a giraffe on his head? Okay. So you all know, you've been 2, right? When you're 2 years old, you're still trying to figure out where to put your poo and your pee. You might think that a fat man's going to come down your chimney at some point in the year and leave you presents. All kinds of things. A lot to figure out when you're 2. So one day, and James' mother told me this story, so it's a true story. James was at school, and there was a new student that arrived at school, and she walks in, and apparently James had like little hearts coming out of his head, right? We've all been there. And he really wanted to hold her hand. He's 2. What did he do? What's that? He asked. He's 2. He doesn't know where to put his poo and his pee, but he knew not to go up and take her hand without asking permission. So he went to the teacher and asked the teacher for some help. So she facilitated the conversation. You know, teacher was kind of the wingman or the wing person. She facilitated the conversation. He asked the little girl if he could hold her hand. What do you think she said? No, he's wearing a giraffe on his head. She said yes. Nobody says no to that. Are you kidding me? So they held hands and they went out and played on the playground. True story. Okay? Go James. Yeah. That's right. So if someone has their hands on your body and you have not given consent for that, or if someone that you've been dating or have had a romantic relationship with is hurting you or threatening you, won't leave you alone when you have told them to, that's a violation of the university policy, but more importantly, it's a violation of you as a person, and that person is treating you wrong. And this person can and frankly should be held accountable for that. And likewise, if the person that you are really digging seems unclear, unsure, or impaired, then keep your hands and other body parts off of them until you're clear. I mean, seriously, do we really need to say this in 2018? I want you to think about James, 2 years old, and he understands consent. Everybody in this room understands consent. It's not unclear. Sometimes, though, I understand it can be hard to know what to do if you're in a situation where someone's creeping on you or touching you when you don't want them to. So I'm going to give you some suggested language like I did before. But again, feel free to develop your own. These are just some things I say. You can say, "Get off of me." You can say, "Get your fucking hands off of me." You know? You don't have to be polite. I'm not very polite, but you can be polite. You can say, "You do not have my permission to do that." You know, whether you're on the dance floor or you're picking out avocados at the Harris Teeter, if someone comes up behind you and starts rubbing their private parts on you, you can say, "Get your dick off my thigh." You can say that. It's totally fine. You can say, "Sheila said we're supposed to talk about it first." That's total buzzkill. Stop, right? Or you can lie. It's totally fine to lie and say, "Oh, is that my dad?" Or if you grew up in my household like my children did, it would be, "Oh, is that my mom?" Much more afraid of me than their dad. And while I hope that this doesn't happen to you, if something like this does happen to you, please come see me. We can have a confidential conversation. I can help you think through it. Okay, where were we? Yes, back to my favorite topic, sex. And now for point 4, my final point. Most of us sitting in this room are good and decent people. We are indeed not sex offenders. But in a group of any size, there will be people who believe that it is totally fine to have sex with someone when that person is saying, "I don't know if I really want to do that," or when that other person is so incapacitated by alcohol or something else that they're unable to give consent. And I'm serious about this. It's sort of mind-blowing that there are people that think that. It's so serious, I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to cuss. We okay with that? Yeah, because I haven't done it yet, so. There are people you will meet who actually believe the way to have sex is to find some drunk person and fuck them, or do some physical, sexual activity with them, and then later say, "Oh, I didn't know you didn't want to do that." It's bullshit. You know where to put your pee and your poo. You know if someone's giving consent, right? Okay, so what are the 3 primary sex organs? Boom, good. You can call it oral sex. Being able and willing to talk to your partner about sexual expectations before doing it will dramatically increase your and their pleasure. Take my word for it. This is particularly important if you don't know that person really well. So it feels a little counterintuitive. The less you know them, the more you got to be able to talk about sex. Okay, you all be glad to know that I'm almost done. All sex should be sex that everyone involved wants. I know that most of us would never have sex with someone with someone who says no, but I'm asking you to go a little bit farther, dig a little deeper. This is so important that I want to make sure that everybody is listening. If you are interested in engaging in some sexual intimacy with another person, talk with them about your and their sexual desires and comfort, their experiences. The absence of a no does not equal consent. Be like James. Check in with each other during the fooling around. That's really fun. Make sure everybody's still on board and still present, hasn't checked out, hasn't changed their mind, feeling good about the experience. We're going for no pressure, no coercion. Thank you, my darlings.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it too. All I'm asking is Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig a zig ah. If you want my future.
Thank you, David and Sheila, for your great presentation. Can you please join us in giving them another round of applause, please? Those speed bumps are real. Sometimes we get so caught up in the moment that we forget about the consequences and how they impact ourselves and others.
College comes with a lot of newfound freedom, and part of that experience is learning how to manage these social responsibilities and transition into serious adulthood.
Yeah, like when I first came to Duke, alcohol was basically a foreign concept. I had never drunk before, and I didn't know how much a shot was or what vodka tasted like. But through different parties and social gatherings, I realized that consuming alcohol is a choice, and it comes with risks like blacking out or alcohol poisoning. It's important to know that if you make that choice, you surround yourself with people you trust, and you know what's going in your body and how your body reacts to it.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you think you know how your body works well and you've had experience with alcohol in the past, it's still important that you be cautious. These things can still happen to you. Although we're trying to have fun at parties and around campus, we need to make sure that everybody around us is safe. So if you see somebody that's not looking okay or is lying down in the grass, drunk, passed out, don't be afraid to call EMS. You might save somebody's life.
So, Corey, what was it like working in the Women's Center?
Honestly, it's really intense. You know, I got to learn the scope of sexual assault as an issue because so many people came in and out of the Women's Center for counseling. That being said, I felt all this relief because I knew they were going in to see people like Sheila. Because the people that Duke has to offer are some of the best in the country and maybe in the world. And so CAPS and the Women's Center are great resources to go to if you do experience something like sexual assault.
Exactly. And remember, you never know who is hurting, so just keep an eye out.
Even though people experience these speed bumps, it feels like they just cruise right through them. It feels like everyone at Duke is like a superhero, soaring through life. Meanwhile, I can't even figure out the bus schedule.
Wait a second, guys. Where's Peace?
Peace.
Peace. Where's she at?
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. The system broken, the school's closed, the prison's open. We ain't got nothing to lose.
I just pulled another all-nighter. No big deal. Who needs sleep, weaklings?
I'm flawless, and this body is effortless. I eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and I wake up like this every morning.
You know, some people have trouble picking a major. Not me. I've been pre-law since before I was born. Undecided? Please, get your life together.
Bro, yo, chill, wait. Bro, hold on. Yo, my social calendar, totally booked. I got so many friends, there's always a new party to go to and new people to meet.
Duke is hard? No, Duke is easy. I don't even study. And that's perfect because then I can have time for my a cappella group, my hiking club, and being president of my sorority.
Money, not an issue. When I go out, I go all out. New watch, new clothes, and I went to Egypt this summer. Visa or MasterCard?
I have a 14-page paper, 2 exams, 4 grad school applications, and a lab report all due in the next 2 days. Whatever, I got this. Piece of cake.
Wow. Look at all these Duke superheroes.
Dude, you thought that was all real?
Yes, at first I was like, wow, all Duke students are amazing. I felt screwed.
But now you know that was all just a front, caused by this super weird, hyper-stressed competition thing that sometimes happens here. It's not real. They're people just like us. In fact, watch this. So you haven't slept in 3 days. Tell us how you really feel.
Bruh. I am exhausted. I feel like a zombie. I'm just trying to keep up with everything, but I just can't.
I mean, you could go to Duo.
That's real. Appreciate you.
Let's see here. Who else? And how are you really feeling about your body and food?
Oh my God, I am so stressed. I eat everything all the time, and sometimes I'm eating when I'm not even hungry, and I don't know, it's like I'm out of control or something, and it doesn't help that everyone else here seems to be flawless.
You know, Student Health has some awesome nutritionists. You should swing by if you want.
Maybe I will.
See, fam, I told you they weren't all what they seemed. You give it a go.
Me?
Knock yourself out.
So, what's really going on with you?
Actually, the only reason I'm pre-law is because my parents expect me to go to law school. But I don't want to do that. I want to be a teacher.
You know, it's really important to love what you're studying. It makes for a better Duke experience. You should definitely check out the Academic Advising Center and help you with your options.
Thanks.
Megadeth, you go.
So, how's that social calendar really working out for you?
Oh, I don't know. I keep going to all of these parties just because everyone else is going, but it doesn't feel like I really got to know anyone yet. Like back in high school, I had all of these really close friends, and now I haven't found a group of people that I really click with. And if I'm being completely honest, I really miss being home.
Hey, I totally get it. Let's grab coffee sometime. I can introduce you to some awesome people.
Excuse me, over here.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm freaking out too.
Well, let it all out.
This is ridiculous. I'm just stressed out all the time. I feel like it's school, school, and more school, and activities, and a social life, and my parents are just breathing down my neck. That felt good.
I know, right? Feels good to show your true blue.
Your turn, drop the act. What's really going on?
I'm not rich. But sometimes it feels like everyone here is loaded. I want to keep up, but I can't afford to. Not without running into major credit card debt. But I don't want to miss out.
I feel that FOMO is real. But just remember, there are a lot of opportunities on campus that won't bankrupt you, like free water films, Devils After Dark, and other opportunities.
Really? That's awesome. Thanks. Okay, tell us what's really going on.
Nothing to see here. Move along.
It's time to let it go, sis.
I'm fine. Totally fine.
Guys, a little help.
Really, fam, you need to let it go. And if you don't, I'm gonna sing the song from the movie.
Anything but that.
I'm gonna do it.
No.
Let it go.
Okay, just stop. I don't know how everybody does it here. It's like they don't even lift a finger and they still ace school. So that's what I try to do. But it's just impossible. For the first time in my life, I'm doubting myself. I don't think I can cut it.
That's it, Visma. And remember, there are a ton of resources here at Duke for you, like CAPS, and there's no shame in going. Everyone needs support, sometimes. Wait a second. Peace? Is that you?
That's not your line.
Forget the line, but for real though, I think that's peace.
No, I'm sure now. That's definitely peace.
Oh, hey y'all. Hey y'all, that's all you have to say?
Chill. We haven't seen you since the first scene. We were worried about you.
Yeah, is everything okay?
I mean, I guess.
What's going on? You can talk to us.
Are we really doing this right now? We have a show to finish.
Yes, right now. This is important.
I don't know, y'all. I just have this rising fear, like this pressure, and the semester hasn't even started yet, and I already have so many commitments. And I told myself that this year I'd focus more on my schoolwork and devote more time for myself, but it's really hard.
So you just walk out and leave us hanging? Hey, yo, what's your problem?
My problem is people acting like they're the only ones here with issues. We're all stressed out, we're all busy, but we all still came here except for her.
That T is small.
Yeah, Rick's right. I shouldn't have just left like that, and I apologize. There, she apologized. Happy now?
Oh, so you're perfect, huh? You're one of those Duke superheroes in real life? What, have you never missed class? Never been the slack person in a group project? Never turned an assignment in late or flunked a test?
No, I don't. But I'd still end up feeling like a failure. I could have a 4.0 GPA, perfect attendance, dean's list, all these extracurriculars, and a paid internship, and it still wouldn't be enough.
That was me last year.
What did you do?
I had to figure out what I really wanted and how that aligned with my values. The people around me helped keep me accountable.
And you were okay with them checking you like that?
Yeah, because I know they were doing it because they cared.
Okay.
Yeah, just like y'all checked me. I really am sorry that I walked out and let y'all down. I know it probably caused some stress.
All right, it's all good. I shouldn't have come at you like that. We all have problems that we're dealing with. I'm just glad that you're okay. We all learned something today.
Oh, I think it's time to close this out.
Want to go out tonight? Tell me what worked for you.
See? No one's got it together all the time. No one.
The moment I realized it was okay not to be okay was when I knew what true blue really meant. I can be myself.
I can ask for help.
I can have fun without going overboard by practicing self-control.
If I could tell you one thing, it would be to make the choices that are right for you.
I tell you that it's okay to check your friends. It might be hard, but I bet they'll thank you for it.
And definitely don't feel like you have to do it alone. There are tons of resources here at Duke to support you.
And
Don't wait until it's too late.
And know that there's no one Duke story.
Don't buy into any preconceived notions of the Duke image.
You don't have to follow the crowd.
You define you. Choose the path that's right for yourself.
Make your own individual choices.
Study something you absolutely love.
And show yourself some compassion.
And seek out friends who respect you, who like you, and support you.
We all bleed blue.
What's your true blue?
Trap money, got me in my feelings. Gotta be real with it. Yeah. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Cause I want you, and I need you, and I'm down for you always. KB, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Cause I want you, and I need you, and I'm down for you always. Look, the new me is really still the real me. I swear you gotta feel me before they try and kill me. They gotta make some choices, they running out of options. Cause I've been going off and they don't know when to stop. And when you get the I see that you've been learning. And when I take you shopping, you spend it like you earned it. And when you popped off on your ex, he deserved it. I thought you would've won from the jump, that confirmed it. Trap money, Benny, I buy you champagne, but you love some Henny. From the block like you Jenny. I know you special, girl, cause I know too many.
Hello, my name is Erin and I am a sophomore and I am majoring in public policy.
My name is Meghna, I'm a sophomore and I'm a biology sociology major.
My name is Bisma, I'm a sophomore, and I'm a computer science major.
My name is Corey. I'm a junior, and I'm majoring in poli-sci and documentary studies.
My name is Peace. I'm a junior majoring in biology.
Hi, my name is Arlene. I'm a sophomore, and I'm majoring in political science and English.
Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a senior and I'm majoring in biology. Hey everyone, I'm Sharik. I'm a sophomore and I'm majoring in economics.
I'm Felix, I'm a sophomore and I'm majoring in biochemistry.
Hi, my name is Senna. I'm a sophomore and I'm undecided. Hi everyone, I'm Ua. I'm a junior and I'm majoring in psychology.
Hello, I'm Courtney. I'm a senior and I'm a biology major.
Hi, my name's Angelo. I'm a junior and I'm a chemistry major.
Hey, I'm Sean Rick. I'm a sophomore and I'm studying poli-sci and psychology.
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm a sophomore and I'm a neuroscience major.
We want to thank you all again for coming out because we are the True Blue Cast. Come up.
gotta be real with it. Yep. Now let me see you.
Okay, we're almost done. So, on to the next part, which is our smaller group discussions. If you identify as male, you're going to come to Reynolds Theater. If you identify as female, you're going to go to Griffith Theater. And if you identify as gender nonconforming, you will go to the Center for Sexual and Gender Diversity, which is right out the doors. Thank you.